It's not only a safety issue, but it's an environmental issue.
Department of Public Safety Officer Scott Valentino patrols our freeways, and if he catches you littering, either intentionally or magically, it's a $500 fine. Besides litter bugs, Valentino is looking for something else, something that's not only an eyesore, but could actually kill people.
And what I'm holding here is a steel belt from a steel belt tire. Similar to the one there, the tire tread there, it's on the side there. This most likely came from there. The steel belts get hot, it separates the glue from the tire. Tire tread comes off, as you see there. Generally, it'll land in the road.
Blown out tires like this one are not uncommon. They are extreme road hazards if left on the roadway. Valentino says it's important that drivers maintain their vehicles, including proper tire pressure.
A, make sure you have proper tire inflation, not too high, not too low. B, make sure the tire sidewalls aren't dried. And then check the treads as well and make sure there's no nails or screws lodged inside.
Besides being ugly debris along our roads and dangerous to motorists, these tires can also create other off-road hazards.
This piece of steel belt could have actually started this fire.
Of course, tires aren't the only items that can fly off cars. Anything that is not properly secured or tied down poses a real and deadly risk.
Just south of this location, about a half a mile, a barbecue came off a truck, fell in the roadway. Vehicle swerved to miss the barbecue that was in the roadway, and it killed the passenger.
Debris from unsecured loads is responsible for thousands of accidents and dozens of fatalities across the U.S. every year.
There actually are 75 or 80 people every year killed in our country by running into debris on the freeway.
This on my forearm is a tattoo of Matthew, a very special picture of Matthew. He's wearing his Yankee hat. He was a diehard Yankee fan.
Paul Reef's 29-year-old son Matthew was buried in his Yankees hat. Paul knows firsthand about the tragic consequences of dangerous debris.
Approximately 11 o'clock that night, the Gilbert police came to my door and they asked me if I had a son named Matthew, and I said yes. And I said, "Are you here to tell me that Matthew has passed?" And they said, "Yes, Matthew passed away in an automobile accident."
Matthew was killed while driving on this highway just outside of Maricopa County when something smashed through his windshield and severed his brachial artery.
And then he hit the guardrails and his foot stuck to the accelerator and the back wheels were spinning and smoking, and one of the people stopped and they turned his truck off, and when they opened up his door, a 1-foot piece of metal fell out the side of his truck.
That 1-foot piece of metal was apparently a piece of debris that bounced off the asphalt from the highway on which Matthew was driving.
The living with the grief of Matthew gone is almost an impossible task. It is survival every moment. My wife and I cannot bring ourselves to the fact that Matthew is no longer here.
Today, his father Paul is on a mission to educate people about the dangers of roadway debris and how properly tying down your load could save someone's life.
Road debris is very dangerous and people need to be aware of it. Unfortunately, my son was killed by it. We move on. I do live this every day of my life. I do spend as much time as I can to talk to people and do whatever I can to make people aware about this problem so it can be avoided.
Once again, it comes down to personal responsibility.